California, there was a fire from a gender reveal. And by the way, I don't know if you've seen when they do these gender reveals what it looks like. This is kind of what it looks like. This is not the exact one, but watch this.
A gender reveal party went terribly wrong.
A gender reveal party. You see the fire? Okay. That fire ended up costing $80 million. But this is 2 years ago.
Gives you an example of the explosion.
This is just an example of a gender reveal. Now, go back, Kai, and show the other video of what just happened in California right now. 7,000 acres right there. You can play that one. That's one of them.
And Rick, you won't believe how this fire started. More on that in just a moment. From our vantage point, the flames have died down a bit, but this is still a very active and dangerous wildfire threatening homes. About evacuation orders because, of course, that's what's on everybody. And the North Bench Ukaipa, specifically north of Ukaipa Boulevard and east.
Okay.
They now
but
know
it's
the
not
cause.
a movie.
Now, does this blaze mean it was a boy or girl?
Yeah, that's,
when you cover 9 mountaintops, I think that's a boy.
By the way, that kid is going to end up either being someone that could cause Armageddon or that kid's going to change the world. But hey, you're being born and you're saying, by the way, just so you know, my parents caused the fire in California that caused this. And apparently they want to get money from the parents for causing the fire. Like, what are you going to do? Hey, parents of this, gender reveal you did, here's a bill for you, $7.2 billion. Right. When are you going to pay it off?
And that voiceover was kind of whimsical for that Inside Edition story. But, I mean, think about the people that are now homeless because of this fire. I mean, that's a real catastrophe. It just shows how narcissistic you are. I mean, can you think of anything really right now outside your own family? I mean, people are kind of closing ranks and thinking about themselves and trying to, take care of their own problems. But to invite people out into a dry grassland just so you can tell them what your child's sex is going to be? How narcissistic. I mean, those people need to be punished in some way, shape, or form, right? I mean, they talked about pressing charges, but I mean, we're not going to put them in jail or anything.
I don't want to make Adam feel uncomfortable because he told me he wants to one day do the gender reveal of his child like that.
I want to use a machine gun.
He wants to do
California,
it like
a flamethrower.
In the homeless
you qualify.
Everybody bring their own gasoline.
I think it's fair to say California leads amongst all states in narcissists. They produce a lot of narcissists
and empathy.
And they do good in business. But go ahead.
Just a couple of quick facts. You mentioned this yesterday. This gender reveal thing has not been around for decades and decades and decades. I think it's been going on for 10, 12 years. It started with a lady who cut into a cake. Oh, the cake's blue. Oh my God. Okay, cool. Yeah. That's what it was supposed to be. Then it shot off like a kindergartner firework. Okay, cool. No big deal. But now people are taking machine guns and pyrotechnics. It's out of control. But I mean, this kind of stuff isn't happening. When it comes to the Arizona fire, by the way, the people did get a bill for like $8.5 million. The machine gun in Arizona, and it was a cop, I think, who actually did that. Now these people in California are probably going to get a bill. But I found this out: 80% of fires, these ridiculous arson fires, are man-made.
Yeah.
Man-made. Just idiots, they're smoking a cigarette, they throw it on the ground. So there needs to be some stricter laws in the West. Like, this doesn't happen on the East Coast. New York City didn't, go up in flames because someone had a gender reveal party. It's obviously the elements of nature on the West Coast.
Kai, you know what?
Need to be more careful.
Kai, you know what I wouldn't mind doing? I wouldn't mind getting somebody in that world. Didn't they make a movie about a firefighter that they try to put out these fast fires? Movie came out 4 years ago with actually a very good actor. What was that movie's name? You guys know which one I'm talking about? Just came out 3-4 years ago. It was about how to put out fires, and one of the main heroes ends up dying. If anybody's watching this, do you remember that movie? So you're saying
they could hit, like, when these just start, they could get them?
Here's what I think. I think, okay, you're in California. What is it called? Only the Brave. Yeah, I remember that. It's a good movie, by the way. Only the Brave.
I was thinking when Chuck and Larry got married.
That's the kind of movies you would watch. But but there was also Backdraft back in the days. Here's what I think. You're in California. Every year this time we have fires. Every year this time we have fires.
Yeah.
Okay. Why don't you take math? And if it's always happening, like, Kai, can you look up when the fires happen? Is it always in September, August? Because it's September, August.
It's starting early this year, I think.
Okay. So say it's August, September. Why don't you, during that time, recruit, 50,000 firefighters from other states, okay, 10,000 firefighters or reactivate firefighters that were retired firefighters and put them in certain spots just for that 2-month period, that in case something were to happen, we get to it immediately. California has access to the smartest brains, and they can't figure this out. Hey, Governor Newsom, the son-in-law of Nancy Pelosi, why don't you go bring a meeting together and have a meeting with the Musks of the world? I think he tried to do something. Even the guy prior to him was doing it, Brown. He was trying to do something. He actually put up a meeting together. He was listening to Republicans. But why don't you put a meeting together and figure out how to solve this? Yeah. Everyone's being affected by this. I don't know how many times I've driven on the 405 freeway. You know how you're coming back from the airport, you go into the valley, you drive through the 405 freeway, Adam, fires on both sides. Yeah, and you're just driving through. It's like you think you're in a movie.
This is normal.
This is normal at the season. When is the season, Kai? Did you look it up?
It's the fall. I mean, that's when everything's dry. You've had a summer of no rain. So you're saying almost having like National Guard out there where they can respond to.
I think so.
When it's a few hundred acres, they can get it and knock it down before it turns into 10,000.
Because if Kai is saying, if Adam is saying, does it say season or no? May through October. Okay.
It's summer.
Yeah.
Summer.
So if Adam is saying 80%, and I've seen that stat before, 80% of fires are man-made.
Well, where most of them are from, the utility companies, PG&E, where the sparks, they have sparks on the power lines in the merely remote areas. Yeah. Boom, the sparks cause these fires. The last 3 years, it's been, billions and billions and billions of dollars in settlements that they've had to do. I've always thought, why can't you have a little bit more irrigation underneath the power lines to make sure that if there are sparks, they're not going to torch, 15 communities? Like the wine country has just been devastated the last few years with fires. And these things come in, Pat, in some of those towns with the winds that are whipping, they'll take out the entire town, right? A town of like 4,000 or 5,000 people, like nothing standing.
All the houses burned down, everything.
The businesses, the houses, because, they're up against these mountains and, man, it's devastating.
I don't know. Look, here's all I know is if you run a company and every May through October the same problem happens and you don't figure out a way to solve it over a 20-year period, you're fired.
Yeah.
And by the way, this is not a small little cost here to the state. This is a big tax to the state. It's the people. You mean to tell me you cannot figure out these fires that are happening? My dad sent me a whole long plan saying all these aqueducts, all these, how do you pronounce it? Did I pronounce it right? Yeah, all these water. He says, you're next to the ocean. I understand if the fires are happening and you're in the middle of America, like not next to the ocean.
You're in freaking Nebraska and there's no lake or no water.
You're right next to the ocean, and all these global warming folks are saying the ice glaciers are melting, which means you have access to more water because water tides are coming up. You can't figure out a better system to solve this thing? I don't know. I'm not in that world, but...
Hey, guys, I want to thank you for getting me excited to go back to California at the end of the week. Thank you.
By the way, there has never been a better commercial for California than the first 20 minutes of this episode.